learning about creating your own website using HTML. In the previous video, we discussed about IDE. Today we'll be using brackets to learn about how to create a website. In today's video, we will cover the declaration, the HTML tag, the head and the body tag. Then we will also learn about few tags that we use very frequently while creating a HTML website. In this course, whatever you will be learning, it is used 90% of the time while creating a HTML website. So apart from that, we will also learn about lists. We'll also learn about paragraphs, about unordered lists, ordered lists. We will learn about how to use links in a web page. So let us start with the same. Let's start with the presentation first. So what we have to do first in brackets is we have to create a new file and then save it as a HTML. We have to save it with a .html extension. I'll show you how to do the same. Let us start by creating one more project. Okay. So now here what can be done is, see, I have certain files that have already been created. I'll just remove these files and I'll also do one thing is that I'll create a new folder. Here I'll name it as YouTube HTML. Okay. In this I'll add new file and I'll name it, as I told you that I have to save it with a .html extension. So I'll give it the name first web .html. Okay. Now first we have to use a declaration for the same. Now in HTML5, the declaration that we use, see, in brackets you get this hint, as I told you in the previous video. So you get hints. So first of all we'll use the declaration. So it is doctype HTML and closing arrow bracket. Now we use this HTML for HTML5. For the previous versions we would mention the version number also, but for HTML5 we use just HTML because the browser needs to know which HTML version we are going to use. Now let us start with our tag. So the main tag that we use for HTML pages is the HTML tag. Inside it we'll create our whole page. So every HTML document has a head and a body, like any human being, a head and a body. The head contains the information that only the browser reads and it is not shown or it is not displayed on the web page. Body is the part where the stuff that we want to display is mentioned or is written. Now let us do one thing. As we created in the previous video, we created a title. So let us create a title here as well and let us name it as my first website. Okay, so I'll use the live preview option here so that you also are able to see what we are doing. Okay, I'll adjust this. So you see here we have the title, my first website. Now this is the head part where the information is read only by the browser. Next comes the body part, which is basically the part which we want to display on our web page. Here let us create a header. So we will use h1 and we'll write I am very excited. video. Okay, apart from that, so this is H1, this is the largest header. Next we'll use H2 and we'll write the same thing so that we get to know what's the difference. See, it's smaller in size. Then we'll create H3, H4. See, this is decreasing in size one by one. H5 and so on. Now let us do one thing. Let us create a line in between each of these. So for that we use HR tag. Now in the previous versions we would use HR /, but in HTML5 we do not have to use this /, we can just use HR as is. So see, we are getting a horizontal ruler across the page. Now for example, let us do one thing. If I want to create a paragraph, so we use the paragraph tag. Here I'll write about my name is Spriha. I love HTML. I will soon teach you CSS. Now suppose I want to break this line. I do not want it to be a separate paragraph, but I want to break this line. In order to do that, what we do, we just insert a BR tag. Now this is not a case sensitive language. Case sensitive means you can put it either in uppercase or lowercase case, it doesn't matter. So for example, I put a BR and you see there's a break in the line. So in the previous version we had to use BR /, but from HTML5 we just have to write BR. Now let us learn to use some more elements. For example, suppose I want to make Spriha bold. What I do, I insert B tag here and I close it. So see, it's bold. If I want to italicize it, suppose I want to italicize HTML. So in that case, I insert a italics tag and I put this inside the same. So now let's move to list tag. Now in list tag, what is list tag? For example, simple. In list, what do? We create points or pointers or maybe numeric pointers. So lists are of two types. First is ordered list and the next one is unordered list. So I'll teach you both of them. Let us first do a ordered list. So in order to create an ordered list, we use OL tag. So this is the opening and closing tag. Now in order to create the individual list items, that is the individual lines, what we do, we insert LI tags, that is list item tags. Here we can mention anything. For example, this is an ordered list. Next will be, I'll just expand this a bit. Next will be another list item, that is the next point that we want to add. Again, this is the second of the ordered list, and so on. The more we create, the more points we'll get something. Okay, so this is how we create an ordered list. So what do we use? We use OL tag and LI tag. OL in order to define that it's an ordered list, and LI tag in order to define the individual list items. Next, we'll create an unordered list. So the procedure is exactly the same, except for OL tags. Here we use UL tags, that is unordered list. Here also the procedure, as I told you, it's same. So here also we'll use list items. Same. This is unordered list. Here you cannot see any numeric, or rather any alpha numeric values. You can't see anything, it's just points, dots. You can change these symbols that we learn in CSS on how to do the same. So this is the difference between an ordered list and an unordered list. Now we'll learn about how to link something in a web page. So for link, what do we use? We use a href. This is in order to tell your browser what you want to link. Now it will give you option, just because in this folder we have just this file, which is the current file that I'm working on. So it's giving you the option of the same, but if there would have been more files, it would have given more options. Apart from that, suppose if I want to link it to the same file, so in that case we can simply use hash or a pound symbol. So if I see here, now let us insert this somewhere. Now if I want to insert it here, that is, if I click love, I'll put this love inside this tag. So I have, you see there's a hyperlink that is created. So if I click this love, it should redirect me to some page. Now because we have used hash here, it will be redirecting me to the same page where I am right now, where this file has been created. If I would put any particular website or any particular link here, it will move me, or it will take me to that particular website. For example, let us do one thing. I'll just search for something here, anything. Here I'll search for copy. And support. Okay, so we have the link here. I'll copy this link and I'll paste it here. Okay, now I'll just close this and this, and I'll save it. Okay, so I have put love inside the link, that is using the a tag. Now if I click it now, let us see what happens. See, it's linking me to that particular page. So this is how we link a particular part of a web page. So for today's class, that is all. So in the next class, we'll learn about tables, forms, and some more tags. So keep watching and do not forget to subscribe this channel. Thank you.